Today we're traveling without getting on a plane. We're following a trail of colorful light from Dallas to Austin, San Antonio, Chicago, Atlanta, Ohio, Arizona, Missouri, Kansas, and California. Everywhere Tiles Workshop is hosting its Turkish Mosaic lamp events.
It's amazing how a craft that started centuries ago in the Ottoman world is now showing up in hotels, art studios, and event spaces across America. You walk into a venue in Dallas or Columbus, and suddenly you're surrounded by trays of glass tiles, metal lamp bases, and the smell of Turkish tea and coffee.
Let's start with their home base, Dallas-Fort Worth. That's where Tiles Workshop began building its reputation, hosting regular workshops in partner locations around the city, and eventually becoming a highlighted creative attraction by local tourism groups like Visit Dallas and Visit Plano. People visit, sit down for a couple of hours, and walk out with a finished lamp they've designed themselves.
Then the concept started to travel. Austin and San Antonio came next, with workshops held in accessible venues where parking is easy, the atmosphere is relaxed, and guests are guided step by step through the process. In some places, that might be a hotel event room. In others, it's a cozy local studio or community space.
What's interesting is that every city gives the same craft a slightly different flavor. In Texas, you might get a mix of tourists, locals, and weekend date-night couples. In Ohio, you'll find people in places like Columbus and Perrysburg joining in for creative nights out or special events, all using the same authentic materials and techniques.
And then you have bigger hubs like Chicago and Atlanta, where these workshops slot into a wider cultural scene. People are surrounded by museums, theaters, and galleries. But this offers something different. Instead of just looking at art, you're creating a piece of it and taking it home.
Tiles Workshop didn't stop there. They expanded into Arizona, Missouri, Kansas, and California, working with partner venues to host pop-up events and recurring workshops that fit each local community. The format stays consistent. All materials provided, beginner-friendly guidance, and a strong focus on cultural storytelling through craft.
One of the clever things they've done is to keep the experience flexible. The same concept works for a small group of friends in Round Rock or Perrysburg, for a corporate team in a hotel conference room, or for a family looking for something meaningful to do on a weekend.
And for anyone listening who doesn't live near these cities, there's another option: DIY mosaic lamp kits. These ship nationwide, so a living room in Kansas, a dorm room in California, or a home in Arizona can become its own mini workshop, complete with instructions and all the materials you need.
What ties all these locations together is the same core experience. You sit down, you learn a bit about the history of Turkish mosaic lamps, you choose your colors, and you slowly build a pattern piece by piece. Meanwhile, there's Turkish hospitality, baklava, tea, maybe coffee, and conversation around the table.
In Dallas, that might mean meeting people from all over the world who are visiting the city. In Ohio or Kansas, it might be neighbors discovering something new just a short drive from home. In California, it might be a group looking for a creative break from everyday busyness.
And the venues matter, too. Hotels, local art studios, and partner spaces create a kind of neutral ground where people feel comfortable experimenting. You don't have to be an artist. You just have to be willing to try, and the environment takes care of the rest.
By the end of each event, whether it's in San Antonio, Chicago, or a small Ohio town, everyone flips the switch on their finished lamp. The lights dim, the patterns glow, and for a moment, that room in America feels directly connected to workshops and homes that have used similar lamps for hundreds of years.
That's the real power of taking this craft on the road. It doesn't just stay in one studio in Dallas. It shows up in different cities, in different communities, and it meets people where they are. The tradition adapts, but it doesn't disappear.
So if you're in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, Chicago, Atlanta, somewhere in Ohio, or in states like Arizona, Missouri, Kansas, or California, there's a good chance a Turkish mosaic lamp event is happening closer than you think.
And if it isn't yet, the DIY kit brings that exact same experience into your space. Either way, you end up with a lamp that lights your home and a story that connects you to cities and cultures far beyond it.
Wherever you are listening from, maybe this is your sign to look up a local event, gather some friends or co-workers, and spend a couple of hours turning small pieces of glass into something that will glow for years.
Thanks for joining us as we followed the path of these lamps across America. Until next time, keep your curiosity and your creativity switched on.